Ms. Brenda, if we could get a roll call, please.
Okay, Mr. Hibbard,
Here.
Brad,
Here?
Paula,
Here.
Faith,
Here.
Bonnie,
Here.
Jennifer.
Here.
Yeah, thank you there.
Yes.
Paula? Yes. Jennifer?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
He's been working from Bullitt Central with the upper room, so they now have Tuesdays and Thursdays, they're gonna have 2:30 to 8, where teenagers can come to this facility, play some pool, play some basketball, go inside, and some other activities. So we really wanna make sure that there's a relationship that's building, we're gonna do more things. I know we've been doing some Friday nights there, so, but we've got the family here, so I'm gonna come down there, I'm gonna bring a check. So Jeremy, if you would, if you'll come up here, you can bring all the kiddos and whatever you wanna do.
Amber?
We've got a little check that we like to give you, plus we also have an envelope for you as well. You guys like to come up here. This is Jeremy Brown and his family. He is our organizer for our upper room. And basically our whole, the whole focus on this program is to make sure that teenagers have a place to be. Somewhere they can be, make new friends and not be in trouble. So we've got the family here. So Jeremy, good to have you up here for a minute. Thank you guys for being up here. Come on up here. Look at these guys, Christmas outfits on already. Ooh, look at that.
Red Day at Roby.
Oh, it's Red Day at Roby? Ah, God, I didn't get that message. All right, but let's look at it. Okay, come on, kids, come up front. All right. Come on, you gotta see the outfits. Well, we can put on. Amber, get on this side over here if you will. And, if you guys want to, if you want to grab a couple of you guys on that side, a couple, you can. I don't buy that. I'm not gonna make any guarantees. You guys look very nice today. I like that. I like your necklace as well, too. That's pretty cool. But anyway, we want to make sure we have this, and we actually, this check, plus we have some cash money that we've actually done for a couple of our different functions, is this money's going to be used to install a washer and dryer in the community. So we're actually going to have an opportunity. We want to do two things. We want kids to know that they actually have a place if they need to actually wash their clothes. But what we'd also like to do as part of the long-term process, how about some life skills? How about washing dishes? And how about cooking food and washing clothes and all that good stuff? We're going to have you guys practice first. Is that okay? I don't know if mom and dad want to go with that, but I thought we could try,
I gotta start at home first.
Listen, I just want to tell you all thank you. They're doing great work, and this is just getting started, but I'd like the relationship that Christy and Jeremy and his family, that they built. And I tell you what, we always like to make sure that people know that the community's working. So we really appreciate that.
Hey, thank you all very much.
I'll take this. Or if you want to give them, you got the check, the cash and checks. Where's everything at? Where's it? Who it happened?
Hang on.
I don't have the check.
No worries, no worries.
Okay,
Jeremy,
we'll
I'll tell
give
you
it
what,
to you in a few minutes.
I'm going
That's
to
fine,
make sure,
Mr. Hill.
so we're gonna get that taken care of for you, but if nothing, I'll make sure you get both of those. All right, I thought you had.
She didn't give me anything. No.
Nope, it's all good. Thank you all for being here, and I'd like you to bring, you got a lot going on, good stuff coming. All right, Ms. Amber?
Okay, we've been busy. Fall Fest was September 30th. Should I drive this way? September 30th, we had our Fall Fest with Journey. We had over about 4,000 people in attendance. The weather was absolutely gorgeous. The Cane Tuck Band was wonderful. They put on a good show. Lots of people had fun with their families, a lot of family activities, petting zoo, bubbles, inflatables. So then the food truck invasion was that next weekend. We had about 3,000 attendants. Several people had mentioned to me they had came from out of state to the food truck invasion, so that was pretty awesome to hear. So Circus played that day. They put on a really good show then. This past Friday, we had the Halloween Spooktacular. We had about 95 in attendance. Harrogate Springs. It was actually gorgeous. They decorated really well. The food was great. So they did an amazing job. I want to say a huge thank you to our sponsors, and then the committee that did the whole planning. It really took a lot to put on this for BC, so I'm glad we were able to raise the funds we did for them. And then we have our next date saved. It's October 19th, 2024. We have just launched last week the website, so please go ahead and go on there, look if you haven't already. Events and the construction that's been going on, you'll find that on the website as well.
So Amber, can I add something to that? I apologize. I want to make sure you all know that Jeremy, your group, and other groups that work with, like Colton's Clubhouse, the Upper Room, the Sobriety Sisters, we're going to try to make sure that you can actually locate them and a contact person for these organizations. So you may be getting calls. I mean, obviously, just so people want to inquire what it is, we're going to put it on the website. The website is really, really cool. So
What is the website?
Shepherdsville.
I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
It's Shepherdsville, Kentucky, or KY.gov.
And we're really excited about that, but we're gonna have it where you can navigate, understand where you gotta find things. But organizations like the nonprofits, things that you guys are doing, we wanna make sure that people have a way to get in hold of you to be involved with those programs. I gotta bring up, don't wanna bring up the Mayor's Walk?
That was next on my.
Oh, that was before the.
I know.
I'm just kidding, go ahead.
We did have the color walk. In between those, we had lots of color, bubbles, glitter.
I look good in glitter, I'm not gonna lie.
So we had 66 people sign up for the walk. So it was a great day. Mayor got lots of color.
Lots of chalk.
Lots of chalk. So our next one's going to be in May. So look forward to that. And then we've been having fall basketball clinic. It goes until November 18th. We've had several volunteers, Shannon, Rob, several of them that's been coming each Saturday to help out fire department, police. So thank you all for that. And then coming up, we have Shop Small, which will go from November 20th through the 25th. So the businesses in Shepherdsville, we have about 34 right now that we want to participate. So they have until the 31st of October to let us know if they're going to be on board. So what we're asking of them to do is give a $25 gift card or merchandise to put into a basket, and then when they have their passport, we're going to give each participant a passport. When they're going to these locations, they will get a stamp on their passport, and then they'll come back here to get it turned in, and then at the end of that week, we'll draw, and then whoever has put into the basket, they'll win the whole basket, so the merchandise that's in the basket. And then Light Up Shepherdsville is coming up December 2nd, 6 to 8:30. Santa will be at Journey Church this year. And then we have the Bullitt Central Concert Choir. They will provide the music in front of the courthouse this year. And then, of course, the vendors along Buckman. And then we'll have the food trucks between First Baptist Church and the courthouse. So we're still working on details with that. So.
And we are working on all the decorations, and we are going to have, with our partnership with Parakeet Springs and the Conference Center, they've actually purchased wreaths, battery-operated wreaths that are going to be lit, and we got 50 of them that we're going to put downtown, like on the different windows and doors, and so that's going to be lit up. And then plus what we're going to do at the Fiscal Court Building is going to be really cool. We went out there the other day, and looking to make sure that this year, this Christmas, that we're going to see it lit up. And we want that to be the case as we're working on the development of our streetscape. That's going to be really the ultimate when we have the nice lamppost there and all the kind of things we want to put down there. But I think for right now, we still want to make sure it's really a very joyous time. We've got the parade. We've got Santa Claus that's going to be there. We're partnering with Journey Church, and then we've got some other photo ops. But I will tell you, I'll say this out loud. Vicki and her team did a great job with the Halloween, but they have really been a good partner to the city and helping us on buying. They bought the banners that you see downtown right now, the fall banners. They've got also the winter ones that they bought. So there's a lot of things going on that we're pretty excited about. So, and I got to tell you, Miss Amber's doing a great job. We're working to get a lot of stuff on our website, but I always appreciate all that you do, sweetie. Thank you very much for all that you do.
Thank you.
Can I add something to that? Can I add something?
Absolutely.
Well, I was going to bring it up at the end, but I received a call from Laura Thurman, George's wife, and she's wanting to know if, like, during some of the city events, not Light Up Shepherdsville, you know, some that are in the park, if she could put out the small signs for the children that passed away of fentanyl overdose.
Absolutely.
Not a whole lot, she said, just a small group.
We have no problem with that. Matter of fact, they're on the radar, putting something together with them, with the city. So just one of our different events we put on, we want them to be there.
Yeah,
Since
her
we've
and
had
I
some-
did a lot of talking about it, so,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. I really appreciate all that. So thank you again, Miss Amber. All right. So now, we good on everything right now? All right. So the contract's on the Stouts building demolition. And Arthur, will you come up here first? Can we borrow you for a minute? I know we have Jason here too, from the Yoakum Group, but I wanted to give you, just if you'll give us a Cliff Note version, so a little bit of your research, talking to folks, and a little insight for all of these fine council.
Absolutely. So after you guys opened those bids 2 weeks ago, we took each and every copy of that and went ahead and scanned each and every one of those in. Then we took and analyzed the bids to make sure that they were complete and to be able to note anything that was missing from those bids. So the spreadsheet that I sent you that denotes each and every piece that was or was not included in each of the bids, that's a summary of that effort. And so some of the bids were incomplete. They didn't have certain pieces of it, whether it was the affidavit for the insurance or if they had excluded some of the provisions that we had in the contract. I tried to note those throughout that so that it was kind of give you a good idea without having to read through each and every bid itself. So then after going through that exercise, we noted that there were two bids that were very much on the low side compared to the others. So those became my focus for more scrutiny. And so HCL was the contractor coming in at 165. Their bid was complete and complete as submitted. And so they looked good. So I dug into their background to see what their references were and what sort of work that they do. And turns out this is right up their wheelhouse. This is the kind of work that they do. This is exactly what they're in for, and this is their business plan. And so the other bid that was down there with HCL was Yoakum. And so Yoakum is a local contracting firm. They were missing a small piece of the bid. And so as soon as I reached out to them, they immediately remedied that. I mean, they were at my office within 20 minutes of me giving them a phone call. And so very responsive, very good contractor. And after having a conversation with them, I was educated as to their capabilities and what they can do. And being a local firm, they won me over as far as what their capacity is and what they're able to do as a company right here in Shepherdsville. So both of these firms are very capable, and they can both do the work, and there are only $6,000 difference between the two of them. We will be holding them to a standard of making sure that the site is exactly what we need it to be whenever they pull out of the project, and they will have to be done by mid-February, but we will actually negotiate during this contract period of the exact done date as far as what they think they can hit. And so we don't want to tie that property up any longer than we have to. We want to get that done as soon as possible. That's both good for them and good for us because we want to be able to put a nice product forward. So as far as what you guys have in front of you, I think both of these contractors could be a good selection. So it's up to you to make that choice tonight.
All right. First of all, thank you for doing the work. I know you guys did a lot of interviewing other folks, and you've got one of the fine gentlemen right behind you, so he's here, and I appreciate you being here. If they have any questions, I do have Mr. Jason Yoakum here, so if you do have any questions for him. Now, he's referred to two of the bids, and Bonnie, it looked like you.
I already spoke to, is it Jason? Jason? I've already spoke with him because I questioned his prices and went over how he's able to present such prices.
I found that
And
out,
I
too.
was well satisfied with the answer, all the answers to the questions that I had.
Yeah, we have one of the businesses that are actually in demolition, but we found out you all have the equipment as well. That's the one thing that I think was just not knowing it, because it's not in your forte, but you do have the
Right.
equipment to do it. And the fact that the bidding process too with you is also about the materials that are within the property. Oh, come on up.
That's what I was gonna
Come on,
say
Drew.
too. I spoke to his wife, and I really like that you're using just your people and not bringing outside people in. Because a lot of them were using, and not that I have anything against Indiana, but our money needs to stay in our city. That's
Right.
my feeling.
So I get calls asking why we're cheaper. We're not cheaper, we're more competitive. So we do everything in-house. In our location, we're talking 2 minutes from Stouts building. I live probably 3 minutes from it. So every piece of property I own in this city or in this county is within 3-4 minutes from it.
Yes, sir.
So we don't do outside trucking, so we don't wait on dumpsters. I actually am partners with your local recycling center, Algar Inc. They own Amens and Grade A, so I have 4 trucks that haul for them every day that haul recyclable metal in some sort. We're their only in-house haulers for that, so we can load our trucks and go right away. I don't have to wait for somebody to come pick a dumpster up, and we don't have the eyesore of it sitting around either. You know, we have 40-plus pieces of equipment and 13 trucks, so if something breaks down on us, I don't have to call somebody to move a piece of equipment. I can go anywhere probably in this town and pick one up. We have stuff scattered out everywhere, so you really might not see us in town, you know. We've done your all's public works building in the city of Shepherdsville. We're usually the first one in, last one out, so every job we do like that, on like a civil site job, you know, we do the land clearing to the demolition part of it, to the storm drains, to the prepping it for asphalt and concrete and the curbs, and we do the finishing part of it. So we can do all aspects of that, and when we're in a job, I can actually look forward and see any other problems you might have moving forward with your building. You know, I can get Arthur involved and say, hey, you have underground water here that needs to be resolved. You know, you don't want to cover that up, then wait 6 months till next year, then you hire somebody and they get in there and you have a mess. So that's part of the reason why we can be more competitive, more cheap. We bid jobs every week, so we're 1 through 3 usually on everything we bid. You know, all the money we'll make off that will stay pretty much here. You know, my guys eat here, they eat breakfast here, we buy fuel here. You know, we pay city taxes here and property taxes here, so.
Appreciate it. I definitely appreciate you being here too. That's really great. We appreciate you being
Right,
here.
well, I grew up here, so.
Yes, sir.
My dad moved here in 1978, and I've never left, so, he just passed away a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, God bless you. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Do you have any questions for this fine gentleman? Any questions? All right. So listen, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. I mean, you can, if you've got enough information, that you've read through your charts, you can make a motion. You can ask any other questions. You got Arthur and Jason here, so it's up to you guys. I'll leave it up to you guys. I think we've got a couple.
I'll make a motion that we approve, Yocum.
Okay. All right.
And then Bonnie.
Yep. Faith and then Bonnie. And can I have a roll call, please?
All right. Mike,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Faith,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Paula.
Yes.
All
Well,
right.
congratulations. And I do want to tell you that obviously this is just one of many exciting times here, so I'm sure you'll be back again.
Glad to be part of it, and I say we've been a part of another before, so
Yeah.
it won't be the end of that.
Yeah, we've got a lot more things coming up, and we hope to have you in the bidding process again there too, and we're just glad that, you know, we're able to work with you as well, because you got the ability to do it, so.
Whenever you get some free time, love that meeting with you, there's a lot
Okay.
of things I can help you with around here.
Absolutely, we'll definitely keep all that in mind, but congratulations to you.
Yep.
And we look forward to working
Congratulations.
with you, so I don't know if you want to get with Arthur and them, and we can, and I'll try to be over there as much as I can, but, you know, he's the guy that does that.
You got
so.
it.
All
That's
right.
what I was
You
gonna
guys
say.
got it.
Other stuff to do.
I'll be
No
popping
Fire
in,
me, 'cause they don't have to mess with it.
I'll be popping in also, and I'm sure Bonnie will.
All right, no worries, but we're glad to have you, because we gotta build some beautiful things out here, but thank you. All right, good, all right, thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank
Very
you.
welcome, very welcome. All right. Miss Catherine Dozier, we need a second reading of our 023053 ordinance. This is relating to the time of our meetings. You do that one, please?
Ordinance 023053, an ordinance amending section 30.01 of the Shepherdsville Code of Ordinances of the City of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, relating to the regular meeting time and place of city council meetings. Number 1 sets forth that section 30.01 of the Shepherdsville Code of Ordinances is amended to reflect that the regular city council meetings shall commence at 6 p.m. on the second and fourth Monday of each month. 2 provides for repeal of inconsistent laws, severability provisions, and an effective date upon passage and publication.
All right, I know we've discussed this, and we've got a compromise of 6 o'clock. I hope that works for everybody, and any other questions before I ask for a motion and a second? Are we good? All right, can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
I got Paul on a motion. I need a second, please. Second for Brad. Miss Brenda?
Mike,
I'm gonna vote no.
okay, Bonnie,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Jennifer,
No.
Faith.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you all. So, after publication, I believe that'll be effective on our November meeting on the 13th, Tom. I think that's what's we get that in the paper, get everything squared away on that. All right, so moving forward. Now, this is the actual five, for the properties we've discussed here, so we are gonna read, and we're going to read each one and vote on each one separately, okay? This is obviously what we talked about, we annexed in, and we've done a lot of discussion about this. So, Ms. Catherine, will you, read 023054, please?
Ordinance 023054, an ordinance amending the Bullock County City Zoning Order and the Bullock County City Zoning Map as amended, changing the zoning of 3.58 acres more or less located at 150 Chapiz Lane in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037-0000016B, from R1 residential to IL light industrial. Number one, rezones approximately 3.5 acres located at 150 Chapiz Lane in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, from R1 residential to IL light industrial with restrictions. Two, provides for repeal of inconsistent laws, severability provisions, and an effective date upon passage and publication.
Right, and again, on each one of these, we're gonna vote on an individual. All this is all the same property. I wanna make sure that you guys are aware of that. So I do need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mike, and a second.
Second.
Second by Faith. All right, Ms. Brenda.
Brad?
Point of order.
Okay.
We had some questions for the attorney at the last meeting. Can we get clarification on those?
Oh, we can.
Before
Okay.
we vote?
I tell you what, then let's do that then. All right, could we, have you back up here? Oh, thank you. And, if you will push the button up there for us.
So there were two things about the widening, with the turn lane and
Yes,
then
yes.
the negotiations with the adjacent property owner. So was there any information to follow up with that?
Right, I know that they're still in communication, or they're gonna be working with that property owner, but you wanted a contingent plan. The contingent plan, should that property not be acquired, would be a berm and tree plantings there for that property line
Okay.
to screen that side.
So there'd be visibility and noise reduction.
Correct.
Stuff built in. Okay.
And then in terms of what we discussed last time is we are fully committed to doing a whole traffic impact study, which was not triggered by our trip generations, but we are committed to doing it anyway. And we hand that to KYTC, and KYTC reviews that, and should they recommend us doing that third lane, then we'll do that third lane and that's the same thing we committed to at the planning commission level.
Okay.
And then thirdly, Councilwoman Enlow asked the height of the buildings, and those would be between 35 and 40 feet.
July 10th, you all said 20 to 28 feet.
I don't ever recall committing to
Yes.
a property or a building height.
The gentleman
but-
back here said 20 to 28 feet would be the height. I watched it today,
Well,
yeah,
I don't believe it'd be 28 feet.
July 10th.
I don't recall, it would have been 20, it might have been 28.
Yeah, you said between 20 and 28 feet would be the height of the buildings on July 10th.
What's the standard on most of these buildings on this time? I mean, I don't know if there's a,
I know the height requirement's 40 for the zoning district. I know they vary, and the buildings themselves vary. The max height, you know what your max height typically is?
40 max height.
It's gonna be a lot taller than what we thought.
Uh-huh. At the July 10th meeting, it was 20 to 28 feet.
no, did you watch it on the YouTube, Jennifer?
Hmm?
Did you watch it on YouTube?
I watched it, yeah.
I'll come up and address council. Thank you for having me here. I don't, I said 20 to 28, I would have said
Yeah.
28.
Yeah.
We build our buildings anywhere from, depending on size, 28, 32, 36. I know the buildings to the north, I believe, are 40. So we're building this on a speculative basis as of right now, so we really don't know what that height is gonna be at this point, but I think we would wanna adhere to any codes that are in place today. So,
Did you wanna add something
Yeah.
to this?
The only thing I would add to that is that regardless of the zoning, there are requirements for height. We would not be able to exceed those. We would have to come before this commission once again for that.
So what are the ranges now? Just to remind me again, did you propose for this?
it would be anywhere from 32 to 40 is kind of the range that we're thinking.
Okay. Brad, I knew we talked about the road, and then the height was Bonnie. Okay. Anybody else have anything else that you wanted to ask them? Okay. Appreciate it.
Does the county in that zoning have restrictions for heights?
40 feet is the height limitation. Mhm.
We could put one on it, couldn't we?
Yeah, depending on what this is a spec building, anybody know? Yeah, you're almost gonna limit what can go in there if you lower it too high, too low. 40 is the max, it's not gonna, it's what you said on the other property as well. What's the height of the building on the other properties?
Buildings to the north,
He said it's 40.
40, it is 40? They're at 40?
or 40, yeah.
Okay.
Typically, well, we would never build 20. Typically, for these size buildings,
That's pretty low for 20.
it's either
I mean, I know she said-
32 or 36 for these types of buildings, because they're smaller buildings than the buildings to the north.
Yeah, because you have one that's 100,000 and one that's 225, is that correct?
Yeah, about 220 and 100, yeah. So a lot smaller, so we typically don't build that high for those smaller ranges. We just haven't determined what that height's gonna be yet.
Some of it could be tenant-based,
Could be tenant-based,
based on what the fit-up they need.
yeah.
Okay. Anybody else, any other questions?
Does anybody know what the heights of some of the buildings in the park are? And I'm not counting Gordon Foods, because they're like taller than everybody.
Yeah, I know to the buildings to the north is, I think we confirmed, just to the north are 40. There's a lot of buildings in the area over by, I think you mentioned that are anywhere from 36 to 40 feet, 32, 36, and 40.
Yeah. that
Arthur,
works.
is that about right? Could you add to that? Okay.
That's part of our reason for agreeing to this property in the first place, is that we were told that they would not be as tall buildings, so that the impact wouldn't be as much on the neighboring people. I mean, the ones that have come and complained about these buildings was part of that, was the height.
Yeah.
And so we were, as she said in the meeting, we thought these buildings were only gonna be 28 feet tall. I mean, 40 feet's big difference,
Yeah.
big difference.
Something to keep in mind, those buildings that are out there are 40. Just keep that in mind too. Just, that's the same area that we've been talking about, what's being developed there. So just keep that in mind too.
They did say it was gonna be a smaller building, though, I do know that.
Yeah, they're both smaller buildings than anything we have.
Square footage wise, they're gonna be smaller, but they're still gonna be tall.
Now they're gonna be tall.
If I may.
Yeah.
The properties that Exeter acquired to the north that we did, those buildings are around 1.5 million square feet total. We're in the 280 to 300,000 range, if not smaller, once we actually design it. We are also, per our conversations we had with the Planning Commission for rezoning, being held to a much harder regulation with landscaping, whereas those sites to the north were not. So there is going to be a lot of screening and buffering and plantations that we have to put that they did not.
Yeah, we know that, yeah.
Well, I'm just sharing.
When we got the, when they sent us this stuff.
Any other questions? All right, we good?
No, it's, if I could just make a statement, and it doesn't have to do with the,
Hit your mic, mic.
it doesn't, if I can make a statement, it doesn't have to do with the industrial zoning. But at one point, there was some discussion about residential, people wanting something in residential, and if I'm correct, and I may not be, I think it was an R2 possibly. County's height restriction on that was a maximum of 35 feet in a residential area. So someone could come in and build, probably obviously 2-story, up to 35 feet. So if we're talking the difference between that and 40 foot on an industrial maximum, I don't know.
The difference is one looks like housing and the other one looks like concrete.
Well, you're gonna have
That's
that
what
though,
they
that whole area is designed for that, that's the biggest thing I think most people understand, is that area was developed a while back to be in that, that's one reason why it was annexed in, was it because it was gonna be industrial, light industrial.
I agreed to annex it in because the buildings were gonna be shorter.
Shorter, again, I don't know what the actual, she says 20 to 28, that's, 20 would be just really low. You're never gonna have a building that
Okay,
low.
it's on July tenth,
I-
and he
nope,
said
okay,
20 to
Jennifer.
28 feet.
I guess.
I'm not making something up.
No,
I
we're
mean,
not
I
saying
watched
that.
it.
I'm just telling you, that wasn't the conversation.
Yeah, I would have meant, 28, we don't build to 20. But if, like I said, these buildings are a lot smaller. We typically don't build any thing 40 feet in this size range. I think the max we would probably go we could say 36 feet. I can't imagine that we would build anything 40 feet.
Does that limit you if it's 36 versus the 40? I mean, it's from a spec building, are you gonna be limited by that?
That's small, yeah, like I
Because you're
said,
smaller,
it's a
but
smaller building, so we typically, you don't see these size buildings being built to 40 feet, or 32 or 36. You know, if you look around at those size ranges, they're not 40 feet, and they cost more to build. So we typically don't build that, to that height on that smaller size range, so. So if we had to.
So we've got on the specs and the different things for you guys. I mean, I don't, if you guys wanna have it in there, if there's a height requirement that would actually fit that as far as that building, again, they're smaller complexes. I'm just telling you, if you're looking at this, you look at the planning and zoning aspect of looking at this property, looking at what's already there. I get it, Bonnie and Jennifer, I get it. I mean, as far as the height, I'm not really sure where we wanna address that. If we wanna put something, we can make sure we get Arthur, make sure when it's developed. If we agree on a 36, I don't know what that's gonna do for that building, with those buildings, both those buildings. But again, I'm thinking about what's already there. Yeah, it'd be different if it was the first thing there. I'm just having you to look at two aspects of this. Is first of all, that development tended to at planning and zoning because it fit everything that was out there as far as that area already. And then you already have businesses that are out there that are of that height. So I'm not sure where the communication drop is from what was said here in July to now.
Yeah.
I think that obviously because something we can discuss, but I think when we're talking about the nature of that development there, it fits what's going on in there. I just want these guys to know that. And then obviously the ruling from the planning and zoning.
Yeah, I do know the buildings to the south that Core 5 developed, those are a lot larger as well, and those are 36, if not 40 as well. The buildings that were built down there, the two big ones, and the other one is probably 36 feet.
Do we want to put something as far as height requirement on that? If we said no more than 36?
I have a question.
Yes.
Can we just postpone it and vote another time? Because,
That would be postponing all of it.
Yes, yeah.
Prefer we don't.
I think it'd
We-
be a good
this is-
idea.
I mean, 28 to 36, it's 8 feet. I don't think that's when you're looking at a building compared to what's already in the area. I don't see that to be a drastic change.
How far off of 61 will the front of this property
We've got to
anticipate
meet certain setbacks, NEMA, I know. I don't know exactly if we can tell you how far off the road that's going to be. He asked how far the building would be off the road. I don't know.
Off of 61.
Off the front, the Preston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can give me like 2 minutes to look on my phone really quick, I can.
Sure.
let you know. All right.
But some of the preliminary drawings that we had that Arthur provided us earlier, it showed the warehouse portions, I think, sitting more to the back of the properties, closer to the detention
One of them,
areas.
one of them sits back farther than the other.
Right.
The one of them is pretty far back on the other side of the stream. And the other one runs parallel to Preston Highway 61.
talking 8 feet for something that's sitting that far back away from the road.
The buildings, it's okay. Those
What are you
buildings.
gonna do with the next one?
I get it, we're all going to the fall. It's already.
Arthur, did you send that to us in an email?
Yeah, here.
I believe you did. Oh, you got it? Okay.
There's Preston.
I apologize for making you wait.
That's okay.
No, no worries, no worries, no worries. We're not going anywhere.
One building is run this way is, there's Preston and the railroad. I still don't know how far that is, and, that's what he's looking at. And then the other building obviously sits way back here. No, it does, not on these, it doesn't give any measurements, any detention like that.
What about the second one? Did it show a
Second one's
measurement?
back here, no, none of them show a distance, these are just, see, and there again, this is the lay of the land and stuff, but, and there again,
Thank you
these
all
are
for
gonna
coming
be
out.
buffered.
I'll give it, can you see me tomorrow?
I just don't think a building that size, 8 feet is,
I think he had just determined it would be approximately 130 feet off the pavement.
And then it'll have
Okay.
buffer around the front of it also, right? I mean, according to what we're seeing here,
The
the
landscaping,
landscaping.
yes, between the road and the building,
Okay.
yes.
There will be a buffering all around for,
The two buildings on the north side are 40, is that correct? Hmm? You said, okay, then you said on the other side, the south side there, we have 36 and 140, do we know exactly the dimensions of those?
That's not the
The dimensions of the building?
Oh, it's the buildings on the south side, you got both sides
Yeah,
in the same area, but you're that middle bit, you're that middle piece.
Wraps
But
around.
there's no dimension, but
Yeah.
it's,
I'm not sure what you,
I'm talking about the development of the other warehouses, you said on one side, they were 40, but what's the other ones?
oh, you mean, the developments to the north are 40 clear?
South down by Claremont.
The
you
the
talking
one-
about the core five property to the south?
the ones to the
Correct.
south, those 2 million footers, I would think are 40 clear.
Those I'm not sure about.
I'd have to confirm, but normally if you're building something big like that, you're building 40 clear, if not at least 36.
And that's my concern, bigger than anything else, if this is an area already with a lower building, I could see that. I think the real issue is, it's already for that development where it is now. So I just wanted them to know that, I mean, yes, we need to be concerned, we've been talking about greenscape, we talk about water runoff, and we talk about traffic impacts. Okay, that's what this is, council's concerned with. But I think in this case, we're talking about that actual development there. I'm not taking anything away from these, council, but you're looking at the difference in feet, not that much difference from what already is there. So we're talking about if it's even 36, if we said 36, that'll at least be less than most of the buildings there. That is something you guys.
When you take a,
That's what we were just talking about.
Okay.
and when you take 36, and you're looking at a 100 to 200,000 square foot building
Yeah, I
versus
get
a
you.
million,
Yeah.
that scales.
It's not gonna be, so what would we, because I know a lot of times these developments include spec buildings. You're already just looking for something, and I know there are supporters of the Blue Oval that are coming to different parts, including us. So is that a commitment we can have with this?
Yes.
Make that happen, so are we good with that
Yes.
36?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to make
I
sure
just-
Arthur,
I got another question. If you-
absolutely, absolutely.
Later on the agenda, we have an issue of a text amendment,
Huh?
which, if passed, what effect will it have? Because it will have greater restrictions on height and whatnot of.
It's the landscape, it's the
No.
landscape.
Well, landscaping,
Well, really, landscape, the standard on that is probably higher right now than it is on that
you
text.
think?
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. And that, you all know that. You've started to see it in the last few months, or at least this year. A lot of folks are expecting those developments to be that way as far as the greenscape is concerned.
Yes.
Look, again, an area that has been developed for that probably, to me, probably wasn't the right thing at the time, but it is now becoming part of that, and now it's all being developed for that. The state's actually reviewing that that 61 down through there, all the way to 245.
Actually, past that, isn't it? Are they going all the way to William J.?
Well, they'll go as far as they can, topography and the way the road goes. It'll only go so far as long as it stays pretty level.
Yeah.
They're not gonna mess with it. All right, and so what we want you all to know, it's not so much that, you know, we're up here saying no, but we do wanna set new standards. We know that this is part of our livelihood, being in the interstate and 15 minutes from airport, but we're just not gonna accept any kind of building. And I think that's what they're trying to say. And I think for us, that's what, that includes me as well. We want a quality facility there with good greenscape, water runoff. You got 2 basins, which that is one of the nice things I liked about it, that you had 2 basins out there for the water. Because that's gonna be an issue. You've got you in the middle of that piece there, and that water's gotta go somewhere.
Yeah.
So we think that obviously what you're doing there is something we like. We do wanna make sure when the study gets done, to see about that 3rd lane, and then actually the cutout to come into there. So, Council, if you're good with that, I wanna make sure that, Arthur, you've got that written down somewhere? Because that's part of our development, making sure, we're gonna do a better job of the city being more involved in developments here. We know the planning and zoning does have somebody that actually monitors as you develop this, but a lot of times in the city, we don't have a lot of recall on that until at the very end. We don't wanna be that. So Arthur and our team is gonna be kind of involved on the very front end. So again, nothing against anything that you gentlemen have to offer. You know, we know what we're dealing with, but we just wanna set better expectations of what we have built in our city. We know it's gonna be this.
Really appreciate this council's considerations and concerns.
No, I appreciate it. So, yes, ma'am.
Thank you for that.
Question.
Yeah.
How does this affect our readings today? Can we continue with these readings?
Yeah.
With this limitation will be added in?
Yes, well, the summaries already say there's restrictions, so, what I would do is then I'd go back into the actual ordinance and put in the 36-foot height requirement.
Okay,
Okay. Then we'll
because
make
we've
sure.
got it on tape that they agreed to it.
Yep, we got it on tape.
Yes, so
We got witnesses.
Okay.
Yeah, we do understand your concern, so,
I don't want you to know, my concern is because of the citizens that live in the area.
right.
You're turning right past you, right into a residential area, and I hear complaints from them about these big tall buildings that now block their beautiful country view that they thought they had all these years. And so I'm trying to look out for them. I realize this industry has to come. A lot of this crew, while I was gone, I would have voted no for all of it. It's just how I feel, but
Yeah.
we need to not just look out for you all, we need to look out for our people first too, because they're the ones that live here.
Right.
And I care about them. That's nothing against you all. Y'all did a fine
No.
job.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you for
Thank you.
your time.
Thank you all.
I have one quick comment,
Yeah.
just question for clarity here. The 36-foot, are we saying this is to the top of the roof, or are we saying this is to the joist point for the building?
What's it
Because
now? So the building.
the reason I say that
Okay,
is,
that's a fair point.
because what's gonna happen is that if this moves forward and I'm developing this for someone, they're gonna say, well, do they mean joists? Do they mean top of building? I just want clarity on
So the
that.
2 on the north, they're 40 feet, what, roof?
40 clear.
40 clear.
So that means they're a little bit higher.
They're a little bit higher than 40.
clear. That's what I meant. Good point.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
yes. And I just want clarity on it because I know
No, I get you. I get it.
further along the road that will probably come up.
Okay.
So,
so as long as that building's 4 feet less than the building that's up, is, we get rules out
Overall,
measure?
right, yeah.
I'm just-
Good point.
A
Thank
little bit
you
of
for
adjust,
bringing
but I do think it's an observation we wouldn't have
definitely just wanna make sure
Okay.
that's heard.
So
guys-
what are we making it to then? So the 36,
36 to the joist.
To the
yeah.
joist.
36-foot height to the joist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's how that.
And that's how we
written.
market the building to the
Okay.
user.
Gotcha.
They can stack 36 inside the building.
Okay,
And then a
because
little
that's
bit-
how I'll write it in the ordinances that come out. I will write it specifically. If that's the language that you all
Yeah.
use, that's the language I want to use in the ordinance because then it'll be very clear within the industry standard.
Appreciate
As
it.
he said, it'll be lower than the buildings next door.
Yeah.
And Thank you for.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Council, I appreciate that. All right, Mr. Brad.
Your vote. All right, so, yes.
Yes, we're now voting. We only,
The only change you're making in the ordinance as it is right now is.
Yes.
we're
So
specifying
let's-
restriction.
So let's go back, Mike, and do another motion to approve. So now that these will be from
Yeah.
54 on to 58. The restrictions, one of them will include a maximum height of 36 feet
To the
to the
joist.
joist.
Okay, that's for all of them.
So now let's get a motion to.
Yeah, to approve now. Let's go back. So
Yeah,
Mike?
let's go back and do another motion.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
you did. All right, so yes, he's, do I have a second, please?
Faith seconded
Faith-
before,
Faith is-
okay,
all
I'm
right,
keeping it.
All right. Miss Brenda,
Okay.
all right.
Brad?
Yes.
Faith?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Paula? Mike?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Harry, Mike needs a secretary.
He's a scarecrow.
He said he needs a secretary.
All right, Miss Catherine Dozier, 023-055.
An ordinance amending the Bullock County City zoning order and the Bullock County City zoning map as amended, changing the zoning of changing the zoning of 0.5 acres more or less located at Chapiz Lane in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037-000-00016A, from agricultural to light industrial. Number one, rezones approximately 0.5 acres located at Chapiz Lane in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, from agricultural to light industrial with restrictions. Two, provides for repeal of inconsistent laws, severability provisions, and an effective date upon passage and publication.
All right. I need a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Faith,
I'll second.
second by Mike. Miss Brenda?
Bonnie?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Paula?
No.
Brad?
Yes.
And Faith?
Yes.
Thank you all. All right, moving along here. Ms. Catherine Dozier, 023-056.
Ordinance 023-056, an ordinance amending the Bullock County City zoning order and the Bullock County City zoning map as amended, changing the zoning of 0.8 acres more or less located at 3606 South Preston Highway in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037-000-00015, from agricultural to light industrial. Number one, rezones approximately 0.8 acres located at 3606 South Preston Highway in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, from agricultural to light industrial with restrictions. Two, provides for repeal of inconsistent laws, severability provisions, and an effective date upon passage and publication.
All right, thank you, Ms. Catherine. All right, so I need a motion to approve 023-056, please.
Make a motion.
Mike has a first, second, please.
Second.
Second by Faith, but Brad, Jesus is getting on top of this, man. You didn't even get a chance. You just got to step off, buddy.
Brad, you're too slow, man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Faith?
All right.
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Paula?
No.
All right, so now, all right, Ms. Catherine, you're on a roll now, 023-057, please.
An ordinance amending the Bullock County City zoning order and the Bullock County City zoning map as amended, changing the zoning of 3.051 acres more or less located at 3614 South Preston Highway in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 037-000-00016, from agricultural to light industrial. Number one, rezones approximately 3.051 acres located at 3614 South Preston Highway in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, from agriculture to light industrial with restrictions, provides for repeal of inconsistent laws, severability provisions, and an effective date upon passage and publication.
All right, thank you, Catherine. So again, need an approval for 023-057, please.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right,
I'll second.
There was some breaking up the dream team now.
You can have the next one.
boy, that's generous. It's the holiday season already, all right.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Faith?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Paula?
No.
All right. Last but not least, 023-058.
Ordinance 023-058, an ordinance amending the Bullock County City zoning order and the Bullock County City zoning map as amended, changing the zoning of 25.387 acres more or less located at Chapiz Lane in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, also known as parcel 0000016C from agricultural to light industrial. Number 1, rezones approximately 25.387 acres located at Chapiz Lane in the city of Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Kentucky, from agricultural to light industrial with restrictions. 2, provides for repeal of inconsistent laws, severability provisions, and an effective date upon passage and publication.
All right, thank you again. All right, I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
No, look at that.
I'll
All right.
second.
Hey, you should join them on that side, Brad. They're really having a good time over there.
Brad?
Yes.
Faith?
Yes.
Paula?
No.
Jennifer?
No.
Bonnie?
Yes.
And Mike?
Yes.
All right. All right, thank you all for that. Councilman, I do appreciate, we're gonna keep standards on what we do and what we develop in here, so thank you all for that. Bonnie, Justin, thank you all. All right. All right, so I want, before we do the second reading on this one, I wanted you all to know, this is what Mike made reference to as far as landscape. We do want to have it. I think actually what we've asked from this developer is probably gonna be higher understanding they got in the county. I wanna also leave you guys with, I need to make sure that sometime in the next few days, I do wanna talk to you about the other one, about the Hill Bourbon, and I don't wanna get too much into it tonight, but I do wanna go with it and talk about that and make sure, because part of the city has not even approved the first phase of that. So we've got to figure that part out. But I do want you to at least understand that other part. That's why we haven't done it as well. So I wanted to give us a little time because I think that one needed some discussion. I think it's a great concept, but we just want to make sure you guys are comfortable with looking at that one. So that's why we held off. But anyway, that said, 023.
Question.
Yes.
Since you want to talk to us about stuff like this,
Yeah.
do you want to postpone this, table this?
No, this is actually separate. This is going to raise the standard of anything being developed there. The landscape is actually a separate entity. The other one's conceptual in what they want to have from that last warehouse that's on 245 east across the interstate down there. So that one's going to be whatever. But anything being developed says that we are kind of in a interlocal agreement with the county of the standards that we're expecting.
So does this apply then to all industrial zone?
Yes.
So
as we
like
move
they
forward.
have to update what they, like,
So
there's
that-
not like a grandfather clause?
Well, there is on, you can't do it to a business, but what I will tell you is that at least the expectation of how they develop that property, because I mean, there's some of them you can look and see, are they maintaining the property? It's more like maintaining your house.
Yeah.
So we do actually have some, we've done that with businesses already, we've done with residents,
Yeah.
and we started the conversation with the industrial park. There is some opportunity with a couple of these folks, but most of them, I would tell you that the work that's done by Core 5, and Browning, we've seen some really nice developments there. So that's, again, in the area, we should expect that from them, and we are gonna go back, and any of them need some work.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like you.
I didn't know if it was like a grandfather
No,
thing
you just
where we're
wanna make-
gonna go forward.
Well, but we have to make sure whatever they had in their development agreement with the city, we just need to make
Yeah.
sure they maintain it to a
Okay.
clean and orderly fashion. That's the first thing we gotta do with them.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike?
I guess what my concern was, you mentioned that this would now cover that Core 5 development out there next to McKesson, I believe.
Yes, but there's a new one being developed right inside of there off of Buffalo Run.
Or Buffalo Run.
Yeah, that's where Core 5 is
So
developing.
okay, so this would affect that.
Absolutely.
In our industrial park.
Absolutely. Anything being built, like I said, again,
Right.
what the expectation of standards are the standards we've asked for them.
So
It's the-
everything.
Moving
everything
forward,
developed
every development, that's correct.
industrial Within the city of Shepherdsville is under this restriction.
That's correct.
And we may, other than the county, may be the only other city that adopts it.
No, at this point,
I don't think-
I think it concerns us. I think we should be concerned with our city and what we gets developed in our city. I think that's,
We're too close to tourism corridor that we need to.
Are you
make
talking
sure.
about this one tonight?
Yeah.
Well, you're right, the other cities may choose for whatever reason, but this is the, zoning map that the county and all the cities have agreed upon. The county has made the change. You're right, the other cities
That won't sign on. to
may
it.
not
Right.
sign on, but, we can certainly sign on to it, or
Right.
you all, if that's what you all feel is in the best interest of, for this city.
Right.
Now, I will say this, I don't believe, Jennifer, that it is,
We don't go back.
I don't know
No.
that we really start going back and knocking on doors. Now, I think if they start making changes.
Oh, no, I was just saying,
Right.
I was just asking, are we going backwards?
No,
Because
now if
I
they start
found like-
making changes, if they
Yeah.
come out and they start redoing their landscaping,
Then we can,
then we can implement it. But if they
Okay.
leave it all as is,
Right.
we can't
well,
really.
yeah, they, we already basically have.
Cause they made it, they already made agreements.
We basically
Yeah.
have an agreement, so
Okay.
we don't go back, but
That's
if they
what I
build
was
a new building on their property, or they redo their landscaping, then this would apply,
Okay. All right.
That's, yeah,
All right.
if we adopt it.
Anything else?
I was just making sure.
No worries, no worries. So I need a motion.
So,
Oh,
I need to
you
read it, right? I didn't even get to read
You
it.
read it first. Yep.
All right, ordinance 023059, an ordinance adopting text amendment 2023 T-02, adding section 5.803 industrial zoning landscape regulations to the zoning regulations for Bullock County and the cities of Hopeview, Lebanon Junction, Mount Washington, and Shepherdsville. Number 1, adds a new section to include landscaping requirements for light industrial and heavy industrial zoning classification. 2, provides for repeal of inconsistent laws, severability provisions, and an effective date upon passage and publication.
All right. And I think this is really what we want.
Yeah, yes.
So,
Oh, yeah.
motion?
Motion.
Motion by Jennifer. See that, Faith?
Look at us.
Look at this. Now this side's starting to play. I like it. I like it.
Yes.
Way to step up. Way to step up on this side.
Yes.
All right. Brenda?
Who did the second?
It's Brad.
Oh, I didn't hear him.
It's hard to get beat by Faith.
That's because he went second.
I didn't hear him.
All right.
Faith,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Mike,
No,
did you say no?
yes,
Okay.
and no.
Bonnie?
Yes.
All right, we good?
Okay.
All right, well, thank you all for that. I appreciate that. I know we've been done some work on that, but again, it's now our responsibility, and the council knows this, that we work with Arthur and some of our folks to make sure we monitor what's going on in all the developments here in the city. So thank you all. All right, new business. Ms. Catherine, we have our first reading on, and so you have been giving this for council, just real quick to you, just, all this is it's more of a definition, more of when we discuss physical buildings versus premises. And Catherine and I talked about that because we're not centering it on one thing, but we want to be as precise as we can be, because, you know, when this comes to people's property, it is going to be a litigation. You know, when it comes to somebody not taking care of the property, what are the processes we have? But we want to make sure, at least from the verbiage standpoint, that we have legal grounds to stand on. So I want to make sure you guys are clear on why we did this. All right. We good? All right, Ms. Catherine?
Ordinance 023060, an ordinance amending ordinance 023013 of the city of Shepherdsville, Bullock County, Kentucky, relating to the property maintenance code. Summary. Number 1, section 12 is amended to include condemnation of unsafe premises. 2, section 13 is amended as follows: to include the closing of condemned premises, and to provide that it shall be unlawful for any person to occupy a structure or premises that has been condemned. Number 3, section 17 is amended as follows: to amend the definition of premises, to add the definition for public nuisance, and to add the definition for vacant. Number 4, provides for repeal of inconsistent laws, severability provisions, and an effective date upon passage and publication.
Yeah, well, this is our first reading. What I'd like you to do, if you will, just again, have any thoughts about this? Obviously, get with me and Catherine. We really want to make sure you guys know we're just really trying to protect the city when it comes to asking the standard we want in our code enforcement. And it has, and I will say this, the community's really worked with us on a lot of our code enforcement. We feel like we've really got a lot of cooperation from folks to want to get things taken care of. So hopefully this will strengthen that too. Okay. All right.
And if anybody's wondering, just so y'all know, so when I was doing the initial property maintenance, I gather samples. There's a sample, one for national, that you can use in the states and the different cities. But as I continued researching and working on this to make sure that we really had what we needed to enforce it, I was able to read Jefferson County's more. And so a lot of this language comes or is based off of theirs, just to give you all an idea. Not all of it, obviously, because they have, you know, other resources. But, you know, for the idea of like vacant, under a legal definition, it's that it cannot be occupied by anyone. Not that it can't be legally, not that it has to be legally occupied. So if you've got squatters in a home, arguably it is not vacant, and you would have a hard time condemning it and trying to knock down a building that's tearing down. So we can change that within ours, and we can say, no, vacant means that it's not legally, you know, being inhabited. So that it takes care of that. So just to kind of give you all an idea of, you know, why some of this has to occur, it's because of how the law defines something versus how the city may want to define it for legal purposes moving forward, so. And if you all do have any questions, I sent y'all a copy a few weeks ago. If you all do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to, you know, answer any questions or just talk to you about any concerns you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Catherine. We are not going to executive session, and we're just going to, and so, we're going to, so planning and zoning, I talked to Jeremy, he's gonna actually update us after his next planning and zoning. Board of Adjustments, Mr. Dwayne, come on up here, push that button or something like that. Well, we, see, look at that.
What we got, if you remember last month, over here on Nancy, there was a one applicant with 10 houses. They couldn't get them where they lined in the way we was wanting them. And we tabled it because they said they would come back with a better idea, which it was denied. And then when we denied it, it was brought to the table, it was denied, and they requested to withdraw their application, which means they'll be coming back with a new design, I'm pretty sure. But it's all good if I can get in there right. And like you said, we're trying to look out for the city now, that everybody just go their own way. Also over here off of Sutwell Road, there's gonna be 11 apartment buildings come in. It'll be, I think it was 77 rooms, and it's gonna be 188 parking spots, and it'll be 6 for the disabilities. And we approved that. And it's, you know how it's developing over now, but like you said a while ago, I like what you said. You know, we're looking out for the city now, and then all the boards are doing it also. You know, you just can't come in and do it like it was done. But I'm glad you said that. It made me feel better about you there.
Well, I do think the biggest thing is follow up, and once the thing starts, a lot of times it's not really, during that process, we're not really watching them. And it doesn't mean that, again, the county was responsible for that, but they're not heavily staffed, and
Yeah.
some of the people are disqualified, so I get nothing against the county, but I think since it's in our city, that we have to take some ownership and figure out how to do that. I know we've got a lot going on, but we are going to try to do everything we can to make sure we're monitoring these developments, because they're gonna do what they said.
If y'all would like, I mean, we meet the second Thursday of every month.
Huh?
If y'all would like, when our docket comes in,
Huh?
I could pass it out to all y'all.
Would you?
Yeah.
And y'all can look it
That'd be
over and
good.
maybe have some
That'd be good.
insight before we have our meeting.
Okay.
Would that be okay?
What time is your meeting?
It's
at
an
6
hour
o'clock.
before.
Yours is at 6, ain't it?
6 o'clock.
But I think that
Yeah,
would be good.
we're old on our board meeting, we fall asleep after that. But anyway, if that's what y'all like, I'll get that to y'all.
No, I appreciate that.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Dwayne, appreciate
Yes,
that.
sir.
Thank you.
All right, just real quick, I know we had a department head meeting today. Lane or Steve, you guys have any reports? Hope you can figure that thing out with UPS in the morning.
Me too.
Huh?
He got home tonight, they're gonna try to take care of it tonight.
Oh, okay.
Also, just wanna let everybody, remind everybody, trunk or treat, 31st.
Yep.
At the convention center. Like, see everybody there.
All right, well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Lane, thank you all for going out there.
And can I tell you, your group, Saturday mornings, they're freaking awesome. I mean, they really do a great job with the kids. Kids love it. And just to see them out there, and again, we had some police officers too, so it was really nice to have. I think the kids really like it that they're out there and just being with them and stuff, and I think it's really a joy for them. So thank you very much for that. Got a good group. Chief, what do you think there? Wait, come on up here.
No.
No?
About halfway up like kid did.
Oh, so you don't, you wanna be like,
I'm gonna open up to y'all for any questions. At first, thank Faith. I know, the other night on, All About Shepherdsville, you explained about the purple lights that somebody was complaining about over
Oh,
there
yeah, I
in the
got
state,
whipped over
so,
that.
yeah.
It's okay, I don't care, I can take it.
Well, thank you, you know, it's everybody here's fault that they don't have.
Oh, I did get an answer on the purple lights too.
Yeah, you
Russell Weber, yeah. Did I post it? I did.
No, you told me.
Oh, okay. I need to post it.
post.
Okay, I was gonna say, I thought I posted it.
I didn't
So,
go
yeah.
back because, I figured somebody was whipping me again.
I know it.
But I'll open it if y'all have any questions.
No, let's appreciate what you're doing, and
Yes.
I am very excited that you have Mark with you too. I really think he's been a nice addition, doing some good stuff. And he was great when he was here, when you weren't. I didn't wanna bring that up, Chief.
Well, I wasn't gonna bring it up, but, you know, 2 weeks ago I was swimming with dolphins and going to Margaritaville.
Oh, now you're gonna throw that out there now, see? Now you're gonna make us
Mark,
live
Mark might be here next meeting.
No, it's all good. Hey, Chief, thank you for what you're doing, and I really do. I think you got a good group and you're getting them all focused. And I will tell you, the focus that me and you talked about was being in the neighborhoods. I think we've done a really good job with that. I know we got more to always do, but I tell you what, I think it's been a real noticeable. I've even got feedback that people see that you guys are in the neighborhoods, making the patrols and doing things that we need. That's what it takes. So thank you very much, Chief.
Hey, Steve, will you see me after the meeting? Sure. Thank you.
Bring a taser. I had to do that. I had to do that. I had to do that. All right. So we don't have, Arthur, I know we've been through a lot today. Thank you for everything today. I know that Scott's off today. And Tom was not feeling good. But Tom's been doing a really good job on the things we've been asking to get done, so I really appreciate that. Did I forget anybody? I got everybody, I think. Oh, Miss Brenda.
Yes,
You know I'm gonna ask you. You're the department head too.
I want to hear about the purple lights.
We're gonna save that for another day, but there is actually some things about it.
Okay.
All right, with all that said, all right, so which one did I start the last time? Do you all remember? Is it this way? Let's start with Miss Paula. Miss Paula?
Well, last time we met, I said something about the aluminum cans and CVS lots, so I'm just very thankful they're all taken care of. Thank Pastor Thomas. Sorry. The aluminum cans are gone, so I'm just very thankful. Pastor Thomas, he offered to have them put in his church parking lot. And then the mayor was helpful to talk to the leader of the Boy Scouts, and then also Courtney. So everybody worked together, and no hard feelings or anything, and it just looks better not having the cans there.
All right.
So.
Thank you, Miss Paula. We'll work on that. All right, Mr. Mike?
I don't know, I had several little things I was thinking about, but I really don't have anything major tonight. I'll probably wanna try to get together with you, talk about a couple of things this next week.
Okay.
So,
And your costume Friday was really actually pretty good.
Pardon?
Karen, you did a great job. You did a really good job. You did, and I did not realize that was you. I mean, had you not been walking with that guy, cause you know. Yeah, that was, I mean, really didn't, I really did not have an idea it was you, so that was really good too. So Mike, you guys did a good job.
that Playboy
You
Bunny
actually
should
did
have
a-
won hands down.
I tell you what.
That Playboy Bunny should have won hands down.
Everything. Oh, that was
Anything.
crazy. That was crazy. All right, but anyway, we had a great time. We got some money. My wife says I can't say if I've told a few people some money, but we've got some real good contributions for BC, so we're really excited about that as well. Ms. Faith Foreman.
Nothing.
Wait a minute.
I'm already told, I'm already.
All right,
I'm already
yeah. All right, Ms. Jennifer.
I don't really have anything. I'm just still waiting for my lines to be painted on Joby Hall, if we could please.
Yeah,
get
that's
done.
in the mix. Well, they got the arrows and they're working on it. Yeah, because we just
Well,
talked to Tom.
I can't see.
I'm
sorry.
It is, Jennifer, we are working on it. I promise you we are.
I'm totally blind.
All right,
I
no worries,
apologize.
no worries. Bradley? All right, oh, we're leaving the best for last here. What you got, Miss Bonnie?
I got stuff.
All right.
Over there where you go shopping, over there with the, on Cedar Grove, where the donut shop and the barber shop and all that, and you go in over there, it's very confusing over there, especially for people who haven't been there before, to know how to get back to 65 from there. There's no signs that say to go this way. I mean, I figured it out going in behind and everything, because I don't want to come up, turn right, go down, turn around and come back.
Well,
And
we-
that's what people are doing, which is, they're doing U-turns.
Yeah, we
So-
actually took the signs for the 65 and moved them to go to Ohm. But I do think we need to do something, because if you come out of that racetrack and all that area, you just have to go to the racetrack. You have to get to Alpha there.
Right, but people aren't realizing that they can go behind
Now,
the
we-
racetrack and come out. And so if there were some signs showing them they could come out and come over there, it would stop a lot of confusion for people, because I've been seeing people do U-turns. Also, I don't know if it was because of us or just somebody else over on Stephen Drive. I heard it's being cleaned up over there. Is that because of us?
That's because of us.
Hallelujah. Because I did have a citizen message me the other day to say thank you, and I said, well, I don't know if it was us here yet, so let me find out.
It is us. Right, Larry?
Okay, great.
All right.
All right, and the other one is, well, he's not here, Tom, I wanted to thank him. I had citizens approach me for Riverview to stop parking there. There's a little hill that goes up on Riverview, and people were parking in the street, which is a huge hazard. And I asked Tom if they'd put up some no parking signs, and he did quickly, and the citizens were extremely happy.
So Tom's working on a couple of things for us. We're actually gonna pour the concrete right there at the no left-hand turn of Wendy's, but we're actually gonna have a nice sign, nice little median area, little flower pot or something like that. We're gonna have that there, so just gonna remind people will still do it. We thought about making it 2 feet of concrete high, but no, we're just kidding. But we're gonna make it 6, because people will still try to do it, but it will be at least done concrete-wise, it'll look attractive, get that done. But also, area I've asked Tom to look at is Conestoga to Adam Shepherd, and you go left to 44, or go right. If you go right, you see how the area is being torn up? And so we're looking right now, Arthur's gonna work with Tom, we are gonna fix that. I want it all cleaned up real nice so that you come that way, because again, it becomes part of an attractiveness, but it also becomes kind of, you can dip down in there. And I think we can fix that fairly inexpensive, but we've got money to do that, map money and some things, so. But thank you, and I do think Tom and his group is really doing a good job, so thank you.
That's it?
If you don't mind, as they say in the committee meetings in Washington in the House, I'd like to reclaim some of my time.
Can't trust the script.
There was, and this is an old issue. Bonnie will be aware of it. When there was a time with the development of a road over there in the industrial park behind where racetrack is now, that I think the developer was Browning was going to pony up I think $125,000.
Oh, good point. Are we working on that?
Well, I think it almost looks to me, I don't know the exact location of where it was, but it looks to me like something else has been developed where that road may have originally intended to be.
Yes, because that was part of, it's a long story, Mike, take more than a night.
Just, you don't have as much time. Right?
Nope, you're running out of time. No, it's all good. No, but Martha, we can sit and go with that. But it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
All right. All right, well, thank you all.
I got something. If you're gonna have them look at, racetrack in that area, Lane, Steve, you're all on notice, cause I'm calling it now. We've got semis that are getting in a left-hand lane, but they're going to make a right-hand turn at racetrack, not at the light, but beforehand. Yes, and why they would get in the left-hand lane and then think they can turn right in a 2-lane, I don't know, but I have watched it happen, and I'm waiting for it to happen where they turn, they don't see a car, and the car doesn't expect them to turn, because why would you turn right if you're in a left-hand lane? Yeah. But maybe there's something.
It's wide right turns, that's why. Trucks
I
do
know,
all-
but
yeah.
why would you,
That's how they turn.
Yeah.
I know that that's how they physically turn, but the rules of the road are you don't turn right in the left-hand lane
No,
on a
that's
2-lane
how-
road.
No, that's semis
So
though.
they've gotta get up to the light.
Lane, Steve,
So maybe we could put a sign. I'd love to have a taller sign. I know it's ugly and it's probably a Board of Adjustment issue, but we need taller signs for both gas stations to turn at the lights. Cause and I watch people still turn left in the pilot.
as we'll still see some people turn lefts
Or
out
whatever.
of Wendy's.
I know, if you're gonna go out that way, just a heads up. I don't know how to fix that. I'm not
Well, we'll look at it. I mean, I think there's obviously some opportunity for it. If we see things like that, we want to make it safe. So I would agree with that. Thank you.
These are on the sides.
I think Steve's just giving you a bad look.
That's
All
why I
right.
was not thinking, why would they do that?
All right, well, listen, thank you all for tonight. Obviously, we got some things accomplished. It was a little lengthy and some readings, so thank you for that, Ms. Catherine. So appreciate that. With all that said, I need a motion to adjourn. There you go. All right. Well, thank you all for being here.
Faith?
Jason, congratulations.
Faith?
Looking forward to working with you. Dwayne, thanks for the update. All right.
Bonnie?
Yes.
No, that's okay. Mike?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Well, we're moving out, so we've got old ones, and that's about ready to call to the number. Yeah, yeah.